And action.
Nope. Turning my mic on, turning my mic on, turning my mic on. Hello, it's me. Welcome back to the last video in this 5-part series where we'll be talking about coffee bean quality at home. If you are just joining us, just like every episode I say, make sure you backtrack and check out the other videos. We've covered off grind size and brew time, agitation, water temperature, water quality, and lastly, we're going to be talking about coffee bean quality. Now, if you did like this video, guys, or the previous ones, you think you learned something, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. It's the other way around, but it means the same thing, and let's dive straight in. So, last video we talked about water quality. Bang, there it is, if you have forgotten and you didn't listen to what I just said in the introduction. We talked about water quality and we talked about being 2 ingredients in coffee. Water and coffee. 2 ingredients, that's all we've got, so let's make them good. We talked about using better water quality, so let's talk about bean quality and where to start. It seems simple in theory, and it is. Use specialty coffee. So what do I mean by specialty coffee? Coffee is scored on a scale of up to 100. Anything above the score of 80, we deem as specialty coffee. Now there's a number of different tests and tasting and sensory things that need to go through for this coffee to get scored, and it's scored by what we call a Q grader. Now to become a Q grader, you need to have done a load of different sensory trainings. You need to look at coffee objectively and taste them on certain scoring sheets to basically build up their score. Higher quality grade coffee, there's a lot more that goes into it. All the way out origin, the way that it's grown, the soil that it's grown in, the farmer's efforts behind it as well to get it tastier and tastier and tastier. So to keep it simple, buy better tasting coffee from better suppliers, buy specialty type coffees. We recently did a video on how to buy better coffee beans at home. We talk a little bit more about what specialty coffee is, how to interpret and read a coffee bag, and how you could tell the difference of a nice coffee versus maybe not so enjoyable coffee. Of course, down to personal preference too, but we break down the simple steps of how to read a coffee bag and how to buy better quality beans as well. It's really important that we talk about and we think about how we store that coffee as well. Now I know there's a few great baristas out there that might even pack their coffees down into small little sachets, vacuum seal it, put it in the freezer, especially like micro lot coffees and really rare and expensive coffees. For sure, if that's what you're into, go for it as well. We'll talk about freezing coffee on a separate video. If you want to keep things simple, there's a few things that you can do. Most roasters will have an airtight bag nowadays, either with a CO2 valve or no valve. The valve is also a very interesting topic. I won't talk about it right now, but it is quite an interesting topic. I feel like I should talk. No, I'll keep you waiting. We won't talk about it. But they have a sealable bag that essentially doesn't let oxygen in, depending on the valve. We'll talk about that later. Alternatively, you can invest in like a vacuum canister. There's the Fellow canisters. We personally also have an Ancom vacuum seal canister at home as well, which are really great. They keep the air out of the container, keeping the coffee fresher for longer. Just room temperature is fine to keep your coffee out. You don't need to put it in the fridge. I'd probably steer clear of putting it in the fridge because you don't want to build up condensation when you're taking the bag out of the fridge, then putting it back in, so on and so forth. Keep it out of direct light, keep it away from bananas. No one likes bananas, so keep them away from bananas. Cameron likes bananas, but no one else likes bananas. So just in your cupboard is fine, or on the bench is also totally fine as well. Make sure that that is sealed up or in a container so no oxygen can get in to oxidize or make your coffee go stale. So as I mentioned, buy better coffee to brew better coffee. Thank you so much for joining us for this 5-part series. I really hope that you can apply some of the tips that we have given you to make better coffee at home. If you did learn something, hit that like button, subscribe for more tasty, juicy, delicious content coming your way every single week. This has been an incredible series and we can't wait to do some more things like that. Thank you, everybody.